Half an hour of Cena rambling.
Chad Gable is back.
And the Women's World Title WrestleMania is looking more and more likely to be a trickly threat. See what I did there? Hello, welcome to Wrestle MSX. I'm Michael.
I'm Sally.
Corey Graves is back. We get a recap of Cody Rhodes from SmackDown, reminiscing about the events that went down at Elimination Chamber. And when that ended, John Cena headed out. The crowd are incredible as he stands there drinking it all in. European crowds are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Spain, Belgium, magnificent. Cena threatens to leave as the crowd boo, but inevitably he stays. He's been a victim, he claims, and been bullied. The crowd chant F you Cena. He says he's not a heel, not a babyface, just a human being. After rambling on and saying everyone's awful and pathetic, he gets to his point, thank goodness. No matter what he does, it's never enough. He then looks at the camera and tells us we're dumped, and he's done with us. Thankfully, Cody's music hits and out comes the champ. Who the hell are you? Rhodes asks Cena, saying he was looking forward to facing him, but got this instead, telling him to go find John Cena because I want to wrestle him at WrestleMania, not this whiny pitch. Cody then exits to a chorus of Cody! You know how it goes, leaving Cena in the ring, who then tosses the mic down and exits too.
Ludwig Kaiser versus Penta in a no-holds-barred match now. Punching, slapping, and then outside the ring we go, with a Hurricane Rana sending Kaiser into the ring apron. We tease weapons and then have a slap-off on the announcer's table, with Kaiser hitting a Death Valley driver on Penta on the desk. The fighting continues outside the ring while Uncle Sam's on a break. Back in the ring, and we see a crossbody and a backstabber from Penta, before another Death Valley driver and cover from Kaiser for 2. Back outside the ring, Kaiser gets back body dropped onto the announcer's desk before we head back in the ring where another slap-off ensues. Kaiser talks a little smack before leathering Penta with a chair and pinning him against the corner. Penta fights out and hits the sacrifice before smashing Ludwig with the chair and hitting a Mexican destroyer onto the chair before following up with the Penta driver onto the same chair. Kaiser's dead and then gets pinned for the 1, 2, 3. After the match, Kathy Kelly asks Penta what's next. He replies, the Intercontinental title.
During the break and recorded earlier in the day, we see LWO asking American Made where Gable is. Julius doesn't know where he is. We then head to Judgment Day and see Dom saying he's found a guy to come in with them. He suggests Penta. Bálor is not happy and calls Dom a snake.
Dakota Kai.
Which I think is quite just, because I'm sure St. Patrick, because it was on Paddy's Day, drove the snakes from Ireland.
That sounds right.
Yes. Knowledge.
Dakota Kai versus...
That's what we bring. Go.
Dakota Kai versus Ivy Nile now, with the Creeds at ringside. Just before the match gets underway though, out comes Chad Gable. Each get a little offense in, with Kai sending Nile out the ring and getting ready to dive after her when Gable gets on the apron and distracts her. This allows Nile to get back in the ring and hit some kind of swinging, rock-bottom looking slam and cover for 2.
Very odd.
Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio then come ringing out and attack the Creeds before heading over to Gable. Gable legs it through the crowd, and with all this distracting Ivy Nile, Kai catches her with a corner kick and then follows up with the GTK. Kai covers and gets the win.
GTK needs a better name. This is awful. Bianca Belair and Io Sky out next for their contract signing at WrestleMania. Io says after WrestleMania she'll still be champ, then signs. Belair says she'll be the women's new champion and then signs. Adam Pearce says thanks for signing when Rhea Ripley heads out. Of course she does. Belair and Ripley argue with Io heading over, but Belair pies her off. Rhea then headbutts Belair, who lands on the table. Sky tries again, but gets powerbombed by Ripley onto Belair. With the 2 on the table, Rhea then signs the WrestleMania contract. clearly not understanding how contracts work and wrongly assuming she's now in the match between Belair and Sky. Although, let's be honest, it will be a triple threat, which we alluded to on our musings video. Link in the description.
Up next, Jey Uso taking on Austin Theory. And while on the way to the ring, Jey comes across Gunther, with the two having a little spat before being separated by backstage security. Grayson Waller is with Theory, by the way. Jey wins with a crossbody, yes.
That's it, right, next.
After bouncing off the ropes about 3 times, Jey crossbodies Theory and then covered for the victory. After the match, Waller was super kicked, and while Jey was looking on, Gunther tried to lock a sleeper in. Jey fought him off though and grabbed the belt, only to toss it back to him when standing on the middle rope.
We see A-Town Down Under riling up the crowd before telling Jey Uso to get a tag team partner for when they head to Scotland next week. We then head backstage to see Adam Pearce telling Rhea, "You can't just sign the document," before demanding she give it to him. She relents, but then gets attacked by Belair and Sky. Rhea has the last laugh though by downing them both.
LWO's Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio take on the Creeds now, with the Maid Boys dominating Lee during the break, keeping him away from his corner. Lee, though, makes the hot tag as we come back from the break, with Rey taking on both Creeds and Spike DDT and Julius, while Lee Hurricane Rana's Brutus off the apron. Rey then hits the 619 and follows up by dropping the dime and covering for the win. After the match, the mysterious masked luchador appears and takes out both Lee and Mysterio. Security rush the ring, but our masked hero manages to escape and head through the crowd.
I wonder who that could be. We get a recap of the Punk Rollins cage match from last week, with Seth Rollins then heading out. After half an hour of "Whoa!" Seth introduced himself before we had another rendition of "Whoa!" for another 20 minutes. He's not annoyed with Reigns because he'd have done the same thing, before saying he knows that Punk and Reigns will be on SmackDown this Friday, and he himself might make a trip down to Bologna. Now that should be interesting. Triple threat for WrestleMania incoming.
Backstage, Kathy Kelly has AJ Styles when Karrion Kross appears.
Is he still there?
Kross asks Styles if he's not a little annoyed that it took him so long to get to WWE, whereas Logan Paul got here in very little time. Styles says he sees what Kross is doing and that it isn't working before walking away. Kross turns to Scarlett and says, "It's working."
We then see Bron Breakker cross paths with Penta backstage as he heads out for the last match of the night, where he'll be defending his Intercontinental Championship against Finn Bálor. Bálor sends Bron over the top rope, but he lands on his feet, re-enters the ring and dominates Bálor before sending him out the ring. Bron follows and looks for a spear, but Bálor catches him with a sling blade. The two get back in the ring, with Bálor taking control, choking Bron on the ropes and hitting him with a drop kick. Bálor continues with punches, slaps and a Russian leg sweep before covering for 2. Bálor then goads Bron, asking him who he is, while kicking his head. Not a great idea, as Bron elbows and then power slams Bálor, with Carlito and Dominic Mysterio then heading out. Bron goes for a military press slam, but Bálor reverses it and gets a 2 count cover.
Bálor Irish whips Bron against the ropes, but Breakker uses this to his advantage, gaining momentum from the ropes and dropping Finn with a clothesline. Bálor rolls out the ring, but Bron follows by jumping from the apron onto Bálor, who's resting on the announcer's desk. After recovering, Bron takes himself and Bálor back into the ring and sets up a super spear. Bálor has it scouted though and sling blades the champ before shotgun drop kicking him and following with the coup de grace. Bron rolls out of the way though, misses a spear and gets rolled up by Bálor. Bron kicks out on 2, then slams Bálor and covers for 2. Finn kicks Breakker and heads up for a coup de grace, but Bron follows him up. Carlito then tries to enter the ring, causing the ref to go over to him and stop him.
Oh, did he distract the ref by any chance?
Well, with the ref not looking, Dom pulls Bron from the top rope, causing him to fall down into the ring. This, though, in turn, causes Finn to topple and smash his little Bálors on the ring post. Bron then sends Dom and Carlito from the apron, goes up top, hits the Frankensteiner and finishes Bálor with a spear and cover, therefore retaining his Intercontinental title. After the match, Dom and Carlito beat on Breakker, with Dom heading out the ring and retrieving the belt. As he re-enters the ring, who should come out for the save?
Rhodes?
The man with no fear,
Oh.
Penta. He deals with Dom while Breakker takes care of Carlito. Penta then picks up the belt, squares off with Bron, and then hands the title to him. Raw comes to an end with Bron raising the title in Penta's face.
WrestleMania match?
Yeah, maybe a little match, side one.
I mean, I actually enjoyed this Raw on the whole. You know, I'd give it an up. It was a good mix of talking and wrestling, 5 matches, although on the short side, probably because of Cena's rambling at the start, but all solid, I thought. The fact that they had Cena and Rollins, and then you might have Punk, Rollins, and Reigns at Bologna in Italy. It's a bit of a shame on Spain that they didn't have these. You know, they've not had it for such a long time.
They only had Cody talking to the camera.
Yeah, saying, "Oh yeah, Cena's not here, but he's going to be in Brussels." It's a bit of a shame that. But no, I actually enjoyed this. It was fast paced. It was always something happening.
Yeah.
You don't always want a 10-minute match.
No. Sometimes you need them depending on kind of like the story.
On the situation, yeah, but sometimes it's just like, oh, more rest holds, oh, another rest hold, I'm going to put a chin lock on you. It's a bit too much. Anyway, if you like what we do, please give us a subscribe.
Any thoughts or views you'd like to share, then please feel free to pop them in the comments section down below.
Thank you again for watching.
And we'll see you Wednesday for our look at this past week in WWE, and Saturday when we look at SmackDown.